YouTube. This is Jay. Welcome to Things to Do in Metro Atlanta, Story Time with Jay. If you want to support the channel, you can cash at me at $JAYR 3240. That's $JAYR 3240. And let me give it to you once again. If you want to cash at me, you can cash at me at $JAYR 3240. You got to spell it out. $JAYR 3240. And that would be $JAYR 3240. I have some other contact information, email, Google Voice number. I haven't put that out yet, but I do have those things available. If you want to contact me, hit me up on Facebook Messenger. Go to Things to Do in Metro Atlanta on Facebook. Look up the admin, Amin Son. I'm the admin on Facebook. And then just, go over the Messenger and send me a message. Things to Do in Metro Atlanta on Facebook. Contact the admin. And then hit me up on Facebook Messenger. It's like a 1-2 step. It's not difficult. My channel focuses on networking, technology, wellness, and fitness and travel. And so, I want to roll, into, I'm going to flow in and out of these 4 areas because that's what my channel's about. Networking, technology, wellness, and fitness and travel. Today is January the 26th, 2025, Sunday. So let me put it in order. Today is Sunday, January 26th, 2025. And this is video number 22. Welcome to the podcast. Because I refer to it as a podcast, but I have it written down as video, like I count each video that I do. And I'm on video number 22. I don't have any moving images in my videos right now in my podcast. I generally refer to it as a podcast, but I don't have any moving images in it right now. I do plan to do some things later on. I just want to get comfortable with recording. And so I may do this style of podcast for the next year, maybe the next 2 years. I don't know. Whenever I feel like I'm ready to make the next move, because it's good to do things on your own time and not always focus on, everybody else says that you should do this at this time and this and that. Stop listening to everybody and do things when you feel the time is right. Because a lot of times you listen to people and you may not be able to do what that person can do. So you may blow it trying to do something that's above your pay grade or out of your reach or over your head, or however you want to look at it. Which leads me into, another story time. Because this is Story Time with Jay. And I don't want people to think that, I'm trying to insult people, because I'm really not. But I just say sometimes people are too smart for their own good, or they're not as smart as they think they are. And every closed eye ain't sleep, and every goodbye ain't gone. And so a lot of times you just need to do things when you're able, to do things, and not always try to do things regardless as to what someone else has said. Somebody else may tell you to do something, and like somewhere deep down inside that this is not what you really want to do. But as a result of feeling pressured, or whatever the case may be, it could be fear, it could be anxiety. It could be, somebody's forced your hand. You didn't fully understand what you were trying to do, or you wanted money. A lot of people do things for money. Don't get me started on that, because I could tell you, I got some story times for you about what people out here doing for money. And I would say you wouldn't believe it, but I know you would believe it, because I know that many of you know how things go. In other words, the things that take place in the world. I know a lot of people know what time it is out here, especially out here on these streets. What's going on. Let me get a sip of water here. Yeah, I got my cold water today. And so like, share, subscribe. Like, share, and subscribe. This is Things to Do in Metro Atlanta, Story Time with Jay. And my channel focuses on networking, technology, wellness, and fitness, and travel. I just like to reiterate those things more than once. And I know some people will do that. There are some content creators who will recapitulate, inculcate things to you. They will repeat things a number of times. And, that's the way I like to do things too. Sometimes I want to go over things just to make sure I've gone over it and I was thorough enough. Sometimes a person can go over something very quickly. Let's say, for instance, I go into networking, right? And I start talking about the 5 kinds of networking. Right? And I say, hey, I'm gonna go into networking now, and I'm gonna discuss the 5 kinds of networking. And so then, let's say I go into it and I say social, business, professional, experimental, strategic. You got it? Good. I had professors like that in college. Got it? Good. And that they also meant don't got it? Good. Either way, it's all good. If you get it, you got it, good. If you don't got it and you don't get it, good. I'm still getting paid. And so that's not the way I like to do things. I don't like to do things that way. I don't like to... And I'm going to tell you something. I never wanted to be a teacher, and I wound up being a teacher and educator. I wound up being an educator, and I never wanted to be a teacher and educator, none of that. But it was a career that I found out, like, while I was in college, I found out that I was good at teaching, and I was good because they had me tutoring English at one point, and they paid me to do it. I went to school, they paid me to do everything. They paid for my classes, my books, my clothing, they paid my rent, and I was living off campus. They paid for everything. They paid me to tutor students. And, I never thought I would ever be a teacher. I wanted to, when I was in college, when I was in high school, I wanted to be a pilot. But shortly thereafter, I realized that, no, that might not be the best career for me. So I wanted to go into business, really buying and selling, like merchandising. But I'm talking about high volume merchandising, where we're selling millions of dollars of merchandise, and I'm getting my commission off that, and my commission is easily 6 figures, easily, or high 5 figures. I'm talking 98, 99,000, 97,000, 98, 99,000, easy 6 figures. And so I wound up going into that, and then I wound up getting into healthcare as well. That was another thing. I took some tests, and I found out that healthcare was another one of something that I knew I would be good. I had an aptitude for it. You take these tests, these aptitude battery tests, and it's a quick test. I mean, sometimes a test no longer than 5 minutes, maybe 10, and you can figure out, oh, you scored high over here, so you can go into healthcare and do well. So I wound up in healthcare. And at this time, I'm doing some healthcare consulting and I have a company, LifeWave. And my website is lifewave.com/Jay Baresi. That's JayBaresi. Sometimes I get ahead of myself and the words just don't come out right. Lifewave.com/Jay Baresi. Lifewave.com/Jay Baresi. I have a stem cell patch activation distributorship. So we stem cell activation patch distributorship. So I'm getting the words jumbled here. So we activate, build, and reset the stem cells. So I have a stem cell patch activation distributorship where we activate, build, and reset your stem cells. So basically, I'm dealing with the patches, and these are stem cell activation patches. And they do a lot of things. And let me make that disclaimer. This is not to diagnose, treat, or cure anything. The information that I'm giving you is not to diagnose, treat, or cure any problem. It is basically information that you can use how you see fit. So I've given my disclaimer. Let me give it one more time. The information that I'm giving you is not to diagnose, treat, or cure any condition. It is information that you are able to use the way you see fit. You can either use it or not use it. The choice is yours. Now that I've done my disclaimer, I have a stem cell activation patch distributorship, and I am with LifeWave, and my website is lifewave.com/JayBaresi. Check out my website. You'll be pleasantly surprised. So going back into what I was saying, sometimes you can go over things. Like my channel basically focuses on networking, technology, wellness, and fitness and travel. And I don't know if I should do the question for today or if I should even do a question, because I ask certain questions that I don't give the answers to, and that's to get you to do the research yourself, because a lot of times you can figure some things out on your own. It's to get you to kind of figure things out on your own, because you're going to need it. We're going into a time now where people are going to have to figure out what they're going to do. And while there are people to help you, in some cases, many cases, you'd have to come up with some money. And if you don't have the money, in some cases, you'll have to raise it. And if you don't raise the money, you won't be able to get the help. You have to come up with the money. And so we're in a time where people will have to figure out what they're going to do. And so I may ask some questions to, get the juices flowing, I mean, we all go through it. And so when it comes to networking, there are 5 kinds of networking. And sometimes, like I was saying, back in school, you had some teachers, professors, instructors, and they may go through something fast. Like, again, I say there's 5 kinds of networking, right, that I focus on. Social, business, professional, experimental, and strategic. That's not going to help anybody by me going through it fast like that. Good, got it, good, you got it. You don't got it, good. That's not going to help people. And so I try to go over this in every podcast just to kind of help people get more familiarized, because a lot of times you would think, well, I've heard it before. And you might have, if you've heard any one of my other podcasts. If you have heard some of those podcasts, you might have heard it before, but the question is, do you fully understand everything? And so the more you go over it, the better you can understand it. And then once you understand it, you learn how to apply it. So when it comes to networking, social networking has to do with Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, or in person, where you network with people in person. Business has to do with joining a group like the Chamber of Commerce. That's business networking. You'll network with other business professionals, maybe in your field. Maybe people are not in your field, but they want to network on a business level, see what they can do. And it all seems to come down to making some money in a lot of cases. Not in all cases. In some cases, just camaraderie. People want to connect with other people. It may not even be money for everybody, because I have some people on my team, and I asked them why did they join this business that I'm in, which is LifeWave. And they said that they wasn't in it for the money, that they were in it for the health benefits. So see, not everybody does everything for money. Although they may want money, that may not be the reason why they would join a particular group. And so we went over social, we went over business, to go over professional networking. That's LinkedIn Toastmasters. When you join LinkedIn and you put your profile up, now you're networking on a professional level. But you can also go to job fairs and career fairs and also network on a professional level. And a certain kind of dress code is required. Then there's experimental networking. That one I find very interesting, because it's based on trial and error. And I've made a lot of mistakes. And that's what experimental networking is about. You're going to make the mistakes, and then you're going to learn from those mistakes, and that'll make you a better networker. And then there's strategic networking, which is a combination of all of the above. And so basically, I go into that to say I am Metro Atlanta's foremost leading pro networker. Are there other people out there who network? Yes. Are there other pro networkers out there? Yes. Do some people or some of these pro networkers have skills that I don't have when it comes to pro networking? Yes. But I am the best at my style. I haven't seen anybody better than me at my style of pro networking. And I network with a variety, and that's what makes me better. I have a broad way of professional networking, and I feel mine is much broader than a lot of people's, because I go everywhere and network with everybody, whereas they may only put on a show or two, and they may bring the people to them, but they don't always reach all of the people in the room. And it's basically to make money. My networking also is to make money, but a lot of times it's to get out and network with a wide variety of people, so I know what's going on in my city, or my metropolitan area, or in the state, if you will, because I network inside and outside the country, and all throughout, well, basically the East Coast. Basically up and down the East Coast. I've been networking up and down the East Coast for a long time now. Let me see. At least 20 years. At least 20. I started networking at 16. And I started traveling at the age of 14. So I've been networking for more than 20 years on a national level, but basically along the East Coast. I've never been any further than like Mississippi, Tennessee. Which one is more west? I was right across from Arkansas, so across the bridge. That's as far west as I've been, like southwest. And furthest north I've been is Michigan. And I've been to Canada too. So I guess the furthest north would be Canada. That's outside the country. But inside the country, the furthest north, or the most northern point, has been Michigan. And I've lived in other cities in Michigan. I've lived in Lansing and I've lived in Detroit. I didn't like Michigan. It was too cold. But my career did take off in Michigan. The point I'm trying to make is that I've been doing networking, pro networking, for a long time. Yes, I get paid to do it. Did I make $1 million? No. I'm still trying to make $1 million. I'm still trying to make $1 million. I'm not going to go into what I make, but I've been trying to make at least $1 million. It has not happened, okay? I hope that it does. Because you know it's always about income and the kind of income you have coming in a lot of times. That's the way money seems to work for most people. It's what they have coming in. Now, there are those people who they have so much money that they're okay. They don't have to worry a day in their life about money. You know, they have more than enough money to survive, or so it seems. Because there's some things I just don't understand. And I think I have some understanding, but I don't fully understand sometimes about people who may have like this obscene amount of money and they still act as if it's not enough. So you see, I don't understand that kind of thinking. It's just not my mind. You know, sometimes we have a different way of looking at things. And so somebody may do something, you may not fully understand why they're doing what they're doing. They understand it to some extent, but you may not understand it. And so that's what I'm talking about in terms of having obscene amounts of money, like you're worth billions and you still out here scrounging, trying to get more. And I understand, you know, money must be kept moving. I get it. But there's some things I don't get about some people, you know. And I'm not going to worry about all that because that ain't for me to get. I got to mind the business that's going to pay me and not worry about what other people are doing. But sometimes I think about things from time to time, and sometimes I don't get it. I just don't understand what it is people might be trying to achieve. I know what I'm trying to achieve, and with me, it's just more money. And my goal is to make an additional $3,000. I get an additional $3,000, I'm not going to be in the United States all the time. I may be doing these podcasts from the Caribbean or something. Because I like the Caribbean. I want to get the Caribbean market. I'd like to do some networking in St. John, U.S. Virgin Island. I hear St. John is a place. I would like to go there. I was in St. Thomas. And I never did get to St. John. I wanted to go, but I had to leave. And so if I had risked it, I might have wound up getting stranded out there and having to fly back home and pay some more money to get back home. And I already had, I was on a cruise, and we had stopped over in St. Thomas. And that's what I like about the cruises. You can do a variety of ports. I like that. I just wish they gave us more time. Whoever's listening, anybody out there that's in the cruise ship business, can you set it up where we can get at least 2 days in each port? I mean, you can kind of schedule the cruise a certain way and do this, and that. Whatever you need to do. I'm talking 48 hours in each port. Oh, that would be ideal. I probably wouldn't want to do anything but cruises to the Caribbean for the next 5 years. Y'all can make some money off of me. As a matter of fact, I think I might prompt that. Sometimes you gotta prompt people. I've been studying AI AI. Is it AI tools, right? AI tools. Well, I'm an AI influencer, and I do some prompting and prompt engineering, they call it. And sometimes you can prompt people to do things. They say, I want you to do it promptly. You can prompt people to do things. And I think, you know what? I just gave myself an idea about cruises. I heard Carnival went out of business. I'm not sure, but I thought I saw something online about that was the last cruise they were going to take. I'm going to look that up after I get off of this podcast. But this channel, Things to Do in Metro Atlanta, Storytime with Jay, this channel is for those people who actually want to make it, who want to do better, who want more out of life, who want to get more out of life. And if that's not you, then this may not be the right place for you, although you are welcome to listen. But I set this channel up for people who have been taken advantage of, who have been shortchanged, feel they've been shortchanged in life. People who are just tired of the same old, and they want a different life. They want to actually do something to make their lives better, and I can help you. Let me drink a little bit more water. I can help you. Because I'm Metro Atlanta's foremost leading pro networker. Yes. Nobody has my networking style. I haven't met anyone that has my networking style who is better at it than me. I have a certain style that I use, and a lot of people, they don't understand it. My networking is basically experimental and strategic. I focus on the last 2 out of the 5. I actually flow through all 5 when I'm networking, but I'm really focusing on the last 2 more so than the other 3, and that would be experimental networking, trial and error, because you can learn a lot by trial and error. Sometimes you can see what you can do better. And then there's strategic, which is a combination of all of the above. So that'll go social, business, professional, and experimental. So then I'm combining all 4. And then I'm tweaking the fifth kind, or the 5th pillar of networking, or the 5th point, if you want 5 points. The 5th point, which is strategic, I'm critiquing that. And I can get into strategy. Let me see. Let me see if I can jog my memory when it comes to strategy and strategic networking, and basically what I would do in terms of strategy, because I can flow off the top of my head. Strategic networking, in a lot of cases, would be when you go somewhere and you're able to go there for the limited amount of time. Let's say you have a job, and I went over this. And I can go over this some more. When you, let's say you work from 9 to 5 on your job, and you have other employees you're working with. Let's say you work at a restaurant or a department store, something where they're dealing with sales and they're dealing with the general public as customers. And you may be in customer service, or you could be a salesperson or a waiter, a waitress, a server, whatever. But you're coming into contact with people, right? You could be a cashier on the cash register. You could be a supervisor, an assistant manager, a general manager. Just you're working in like a place where people come in to buy goods and services. And you get off at 5. When 5 o'clock comes, it's best that you leave that area. Leave the job, leave the area, leave immediately. That's a strategy. That's your exit strategy. See what I'm talking about strategic networking? Because if you stay longer, they may ask you, hey, do you want to do, we need you to do another hour. Because they see you hanging around. Somebody over you, let's say if you're a salesperson, right? And the supervisor or the manager comes back, and everybody's in the back telling jokes and laughing and ha 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 ha, he, and all that, right? Doing all this talking, unnecessary talking about nothing, especially if it's not about making any money. And why are you doing that at your place of work? And that's what I mean about strategy and strategic networking. Because you're networking whether you know it or not. You are in networking mode. That is your network. The people you spend the most time with is your network. And your net work is your net worth. Yes, I got that right. Because sometimes I fumble these things. Yeah, let me repeat that. Oh, I got to say that. And let me say this. Every closed eye ain't sleeping. Every goodbye ain't gone. Hopefully you know what that means. Let me say it one more time. Every closed eye ain't sleep. And every goodbye ain't gone. They're watching you. And just because you said goodbye, you wasn't gone. You still there. Every closed eye ain't sleep. Every goodbye ain't gone. And your network is your net worth. The people you hang around. Everybody broke. Oh, what does that make you? Oh, rich. Well, yeah, in some cases, you might be. You might come from a family that's got money, and somebody may leave you something, or they might have already passed on. Right? Family member might have passed on, which is unfortunate in a lot of cases sometimes. Untimely demise. You were in the will, and they left you property worth $1 million. They left you money in the bank. You went to the bank and snatched $16,000 out of the bank because they had some cash on reserves, and they left millions of dollars in assets. $25,000 in cash. So you may be rich. But in general, we know most people don't got it like that. And your net work is your net worth. The people you hang around. That's right about where you at monetarily, like in terms of money, in a general way. So if everybody working and making what is it now? $15 an hour, let me give you the benefit of the doubt. Last time I checked here, and I checked it just recently, yesterday, they said the minimum wage in Georgia was $7.25 an hour. But I'm going to double that. I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt. And give you a couple of, some more change on top of it. $15 an hour, right? Because double 27.25 times 2 is what? $14.50, right? Okay, let's just round it up to $15. So you're making $15 an hour. And everybody around you is making, 15 or 16 or 7, whatever, anywhere between $15 and $20, whatever, right? $15, $20 an hour, right? And those are the fortunate ones, because some people don't even make that. But that is your net worth. Like what you gross a month, and you might say, oh, well, I pulled $1,000 last week, which is a good salary. I'm going to tell you. If you're making $1,000 a week and you're an average person here in the metro Atlanta area, like me, I'm an average guy, I don't think I'm average, but, the world sees me as average. So we'll go with that. Because sometimes, the world may have a certain perspective. And I know there's people, oh, no, you shouldn't think anyway. Just because somebody says something, that doesn't mean that you have to be that way. Because a lot of people say a lot of things. And that doesn't mean that you have to be that way. Just because they say that, you should think highly of yourself. Okay, that's not the point. The point I'm making is that to some extent, I may be an average guy. I may be considered an average guy. Let's just go with that. I'm an average guy. So $1,000 a week for someone like me is a good salary. I'm not going to sit here and lie about that. $1,000 every week. Every single week. Especially for the work that I do. Oh, man. And I could make an extra $1,000 a week. An extra $1,000 a week. Oh, man, that's like hitting the lottery. You just don't know. Oh, God. I wish I could make an extra $1,000 a week. But the point I'm making is that $1,000 a week is a good salary for an average person. And you may not see yourself as being average. That's neither here nor there. We're just talking in general. It's a hypothetical conversation. Because I know people like to let the imagination run away with them. And I'm not average by any stretch of the imagination. I'm above average. I scored a 1,400 on the SAT. And, everybody goes into that and thinking because you went to school, that makes you something, and this and that and the other. And in some cases it does. In some cases it doesn't. A lot of people go to school, still ain't nothing. I've been going to school all my life. Still couldn't seem to get the money that I wanted. And so as a result, there are people in society who sees me as nobody. Now, I see myself as somebody. But I've had some hard times, and so I know they really saw me as nobody then. I asked the person one time, I said, you think I'm nothing, right? He said, yeah, I think you're nothing. And at that time, I didn't really have a lot of money. I had lost everything. So, my point, I'm saying that to say that there are people in society who see you as nothing, a nobody, relatively unimportant. Yes, they know that you're a human being. And they may have respect for you as a human being. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is they don't see you as anybody of any importance in life. That's the point that I'm making. There are a lot of people who don't see you as someone who is important. And, I guess it doesn't matter. People say, well, it doesn't matter. And to some extent, it does not matter. What other people think of you, that's on them. It's how you think about yourself. But the point I'm making is that, $1,000 a week is good for an average person. And somebody like me, if I could make an extra 1,000, oh God, that would really be sweet. Lord, help me out. Oh, that would be wonderful. Because you don't know what I can do. I'm into investing. So I know what I could do with that. I could flip that. That $1,000 could get flipped. In so many different ways. It's not what you make, it's what you do with what you make. And so I'm looking to make an additional $3,000 a month. That's not $1,000 a week. What is $3,000 a month? 7 times 4 is 28. And so I'm trying to do the math in my head. So let's say about $750 a week. It's 8 times 4 is 32. So it'd be a little under $800 every week would be $3,000 a month, right? 75 times 4. See, that'd be 150, yeah. So yeah, I guess 750 a week. 70. That's let's see what it'd be. Yeah, 750. 75 times 4 is 3,000, according to my calculations. I don't have the calculator. As a matter of fact, that's bothering me. So let me go ahead and get the calculator. But I know I'm right. I would be shocked if I'm wrong. I've been wrong before. Let me get the calculator. Sitting right here in my office. See, 75 times 4, right? 75 times 4. Yeah. So $750 a week times 4 weeks is $3,000 a month. So $750 a week. That's what I'm looking to make. An additional $3,000 a month. And I know what I'd be able to do with that money. Oh, you just have no idea. I'd be doing this podcast sometimes from overseas somewhere. You know, you go over there, they wash your clothes for you, press your clothes. I had one guy, he was like, "You need to go to the bank?" I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "I'll take you. Don't worry about it. I got you. What, you need something to eat?" And you have some people that come and cook your food. Come in there and cook the food for you, refrigerate it for you, and leave. Oh, yes. Oh, yes, you can do a lot on 3Gs. And so that's my point, is that your network is your net worth. And we're talking about strategic networking. I don't know if y'all still remember, but I'm on point with that now, because I'm Atlanta's foremost leading pro networker. And this is Story Time with Jay. Welcome to the podcast. And so, yes, we're talking about strategic networking. And so when you are at your job, right, and that may be one of your income streams, because you may have other things you do. You may have a cooking business on the side, or you may do Uber on the weekends, or Lyft or something like that, you know, ride sharing and things of that nature. You may have a taxi cab that you drive. I don't know. You may own real estate and you have tenants paying you rent. You may have a catering business. You know, I don't know. But that may be one of your income streams, or that may be your only source of income. You need to have an exit strategy. When 5 o'clock comes, you need to leave. Give everybody their goodbye. Okay, now I'll see everybody tomorrow. All right, now, all right, John, or whoever, Joe, or Hattie Mae, Anastasia, Maisha, Taisha, bye. I'll see you later. Miss Mabel. All right now, Miss Mabel. I'll see you later. Bye-bye now. Y'all take care. When 5 o'clock comes, and it's okay to leave 1 or 2 minutes later, you know, just to make it look good. Walk out the door at 5:05. Take a little time to get yourself right in the restroom. Fix your clothes right. You're looking good now. You're ready to go. You left the job at 5:05. You're gone. But you know what I'm saying. At 5 o'clock, it's time to be out. You don't hang around telling jokes. You want to tell some jokes? Go and leave the premises and meet somewhere off the premises, away from the job. Not even in the neighborhood. Because you never know when the boss might walk down the street and still see you in the area and say, well, hey, if he's here, maybe he can be there at work. Leave the area. That's what you call your exit strategy. Because you're networking the whole time. You may not see it as networking, but your network is your net worth. This is how you do it. This channel is for those people who want to make it. And I'm going to show you how to make it. We're in a different era now. You can have more than one source of income now. It's not like back in the 1940s or 50s or 60s and you had more than one stream of income and people didn't understand it. I don't understand what he's doing. I don't understand why anyone would want to work more than one job, because they didn't get it. But people have always had more than one stream of income. Even back then, wealthy people did. Average people ain't got nothing. And that's what you got to watch out for. You don't always want to be of average mindset. You can be above average mentally. You don't have to always be where somebody wants you to be. Now, if that's what you want to be, so be it. Maybe this channel may not be for you, because this channel is for the millions of people who actually want to do more, be more, get more, have more, make more money, own some property. You know what I'm talking about? Like when we talking about real estate, you own like an apartment complex that has maybe 6 to 10 units, 10 doors. You have 10 apartments in this one unit, and you are charging $3,000 to $4,000 a month because it's high end. Or if it's not high end, it don't always have to be high end. Let me see, what is the going rate? Somebody told me what the going rate is. I don't even know what rent is. I don't pay it. We'll get into that. Okay? We'll get into that. Okay? Everybody don't pay rent. Some people pay mortgage. But that's neither here nor there right now. I'm talking about you owning an apartment building. And the going rate is what, $1,200 to $1,400 a month for a 1-bedroom? So 14 times 10 is what, $14,000 a month? And then, of course, you'll have your overhead some months. And some months, out of that 14 grand, you may come away with 4,000 because you had a $10,000 overhead expense. You had plumbing, you had this, you had that, but then on other months, everything rolling smoothly, you just made maybe $8,000. $8,000 a month. And I know there's people, oh, that's no money. Yeah, don't listen to people like that, because anybody that says that is probably broke. Or they're boasting. Either way, somebody lying. $8,000 is some nice money. Even for somebody wealthy. That is some nice change coming in there. That may not be their only source of income, though. They may have multiple sources of income, multiple streams of income, and they get an $8,000 stream from this particular entity. We're talking business now. I didn't really want to go into business. I wanted to stay with strategic networking, but it gets into business because you need to mind the business that pays you. And so that's what I'm talking about here. This channel is for those people who want to make it, who want more out of life. I know I do. And I'm looking to get it. I'm looking to get just another $3,000, an additional $3,000 a month. I get that. I'm not going to even be around here like that. I'm going to have somebody come up in here and do all the things that I do. I'm going to let them take over those duties, which I have some people helping me now. But I'm going to hire somebody else. One more person here and there, like one person there and a person there. And it's not going to be all the time. They're going to come in as contractors. They're not going to be working here every day. They'll come in a couple of times, in some cases a year. And in other cases, a few times a month. That's what $3,000 can do. Yes. Oh, yes. But so let's get back into strategic networking. I'm going to go in and out of these things and start to expound more on these things. And also, I'll be talking more about networking, social networking, like when I go out in person, out into the field to network with my business and also to make other connections and this and that and the other. And I've learned a lot of things. And I'll say this too. There's certain information that's out here that's available that some people may not want you to know. It could be people in your family. They don't want you to know that. It could be people you work for. They don't want you to know that. It could be anybody. People you don't even know. They don't want you to know that. I'm not going to drop that on you today, but that's why I ask these questions. I do some prompting, like I asked the question, what is the difference between H2O and H3O? And then you'll have people, there's always people, I've never heard of that. What H3O? What? I never heard of that. Is that something you're making up? Did you make that up? I don't know that. I've never heard of that. You know what I'm saying? There's all kinds of... I don't know anything about that. I've never heard of that before. What do you mean H3O? What is H3O? I know H2O. And I've even heard of H2O2. But H3O, I know nothing about H3O. Sounds like something you're just making up off the top of your head. Well, just because you don't know about it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. There's a whole lot of things that there are people out here, they don't even want you to know it. It could be people in your family. It could be people in your school. It could be people in your church. They don't want you to know. Somebody's sitting right next to you, and they don't want you to know. They want to keep you in the dark. It works that way. But anyway, getting back, we got into business, and I didn't mean to go into business. I wanted to just stick, but it does get into business. A lot of things do get into business. And that is like your company that you're working for. That's business. If they're able to pay you, that's business. Because they're making money from somewhere and then they're paying you. That is some kind of business. They have to have a business license to operate. So it always comes down to business. But, and that's where we get into these different networking points here. Social, business, professional, experimental, and strategic. But we're basically talking about strategic networking. And you must have an exit strategy for how long you're going to be at the company. You might be there 30 years. But when those 30 years are up, you need to have an exit strategy. Where are you going from there? I don't know. I really didn't give it much thought. Well, you need to start thinking about it. Because if you don't, who will? You know, you go to people and you ask them something. Well, can you tell me how I should get, like, what do I need to do to get more money? I don't know. I mean, your guess is as good as mine, man. I can't call it. I don't know. I remember I asked, I was just doing some experimental networking. So I saw this guy. I didn't really know him too well. We had a networking fight. I said, what can I do to make more money? He told me to write an ebook. Come to find out, ebooks make money. So that was some good advice. Did I do it? No. I have not written an ebook yet. But the advice he gave me was very good advice. So sometimes people do know things. He said, yeah, you should write an ebook. And an ebook doesn't have to be, from what I'm to understand, it doesn't have to be that many pages, from what I'm to understand. I think it can be like pamphlet size. Let me drink a little water here. That water is nice and cold. That's what I'm talking about right there. I like to drink cold water when I'm doing these podcasts. But yeah, he told me to write an ebook. And I looked into it and found out the advice he gave me was very good because ebooks are very, very popular. I guess I'll write one on networking. But I can choose to write it on any of the 5 points of networking that I'm discussing here: social, business, professional, experimental, and strategic. I could highlight one of these points of networking. Like right now, I'm just basically talking about strategic networking. And when you are at your job, at your place of employment, and it could be your only source of income, you want to get out of there. You don't want to hang around there when 5 o'clock comes and you're off. You want to leave. And when your day's off, don't go to the job on your day off. I just came up here to see what everybody was doing. And then when they ask you to work and you like, nah, it's my day off, now you've been put on the spot. When if you were never there, the supervisor, manager, or boss or owner, especially if it's coming from the owner, because they're going to remember that you turned them down. Unless you're willing to work on your day off, don't show up to your job on your day off. That's part of your strategy of being everywhere and nowhere. And in this case, you're nowhere to be seen, nowhere to be found, out of sight, out of mind. Every closed eye ain't sleep, every goodbye ain't gone. And you should have stayed gone. You said goodbye on that day you left, and then you showed up on the day of your day off. Why would you do that? Well, I ain't have nothing to do. Well, now you got something to do because they've just asked you to work. Yeah, so, I mean, that's your strategy. And so it's important to make sure you have an exit strategy and make sure you are networking in a strategic way. Or in that way which is strategic. However you want to say it. Strategic capacity or whatever. Because sometimes I'll mix these words up the wrong way. And then you have people, that's not the way it should be said. Well, I said it that way, but you understand what I'm saying. No, that's not it. That's not. Okay, well, you get the point. And if you don't get the point, just go and get out of here. I ain't got time for that. Don't come over here arguing. Because I'm not going to tolerate that on my channel. All that back and forth and arguing. I'm just here to put this information out. I want to help people. If you want some help, you can come. If you don't feel that you want the help that I'm trying to give, because I want to see people do better. But if you don't want that kind of help, there's no need for you to be here. And I don't want people here who are here to try to make me look bad. Yeah, I make mistakes. It happens. But my point is that you should always have a strategy. And you got to watch people around you, too, that's always trying to make you look bad, always trying to correct you if you might make a mistake. I mean, there's one time you make a mistake, and it's a mistake on the job, and you're going to cost the employer money, and they help you out. But it's another thing when somebody trying to correct you all the time, making you look bad. They're not trying to help you. They're trying to make you look bad. And you need to have a strategy for that. Because remember, we're always networking. And some people don't know how to network. That's why they ain't never got nothing. Walking around in $5 shoes and you out here on the street wearing dollar store shoes. I don't want to hear nothing you got to say. You can't even afford a pair of shoes. You got to watch that too. People ain't doing half as good as you, but they got all this advice of what you should be doing. I'm just putting it straight. I know people may not like it, and that's okay. Because I hear a lot of conversations I don't like, and you know what I do? I mind my business. People talking about all kinds of things. Using the N-word in every other sentence. I don't want to hear that. I'm nobody's N-word. Oh, that's a term of endearment. Well, why don't you go to the oldest family member and tell them that? Nobody wants to hear that. I know I don't. So, don't call me any kind of slurs. Oh, that's a term of endearment. No, it's not. Not to me, it's not. I consider it an insult. Because you're not going to say that to certain people. There's certain people you're not going to say that to. And if you do, you know that that's wrong. And there may be some consequences for you to suffer for calling people names out of their name and things of that nature. People you shouldn't be talking to like that. But don't call me any names. Just call me Jay. I'd appreciate that. You want to talk? I'm not anybody's, what's up, ma? No. Just call me Jay. Just call me Jay. Don't get too familiar. You should treat people as they want to be treated. And I try, I do. I try to treat people as they want to be treated. And sometimes I may go into a conversation and I know I may be speaking to someone that may not be interested. Okay, let me move along. I'm talking to the wrong person. They're not interested in what I'm saying, so I'll try to move along. As you should. But there's some people who just don't have the common sense to do that. They talk to people all kinds of ways and they're telling you, hey, look, don't I feel insulted. Oh God, it doesn't matter. They don't have any respect for themselves or for you. But getting back into, and that can happen on your job. I hear people talking all the time. And from what I'm understanding, 70% of the people don't like what they do for a living. And that's why a lot of people don't want to work now. Because the workplace is toxic. Because people are toxic. And I have my ideas on how they got that way, but we're not going to go there today. Maybe we'll save that for another story time. Toxic people in the workplace. As a matter of fact, let me write that one down. Toxic people in the workplace. That would be a good, that'd be a good title. Toxic people in the workplace. Yeah, that's a good title right there for a podcast. Because from what I'm understanding, I was watching something and they said a lot of people don't like their jobs and a lot of people don't want to work, and because of various reasons, due to various reasons. Could be the pay sometimes. It could be the kind of people they're working with. Could be the kind of job they're doing. Whatever the case might be. They said that a lot of people are having issues that are centered around working. And I understand it. Oh, don't think I don't know about it. That's why I became self-employed. I prefer to be self-employed. God bless the child that's got his own. And may God bless me. I feel like saying a prayer right now, but we're not going to go there because this is not a religious channel. This is not a religious channel. Okay? This is not a religious channel. I don't want people coming up here quoting Bible scriptures. And I mean, you might make a mention of God, thank God for this or that. I can understand that. But don't get on that conversation over here. This is about networking. My channel is about networking, technology, wellness and fitness, and travel. And I've traveled some and I've had some fun. And I'm going to tell you, it ain't nothing like going somewhere where it's warm and you wake up and it's in paradise and you go out by the beach and the water's blue. It's not like, like you ever look in the water where you live and sometimes the water's like green or gray or it's like a murky looking color. Oh, it's not like that over there. The water is nice and blue over there. When you go offshore. Very nice. Very, very nice. And it just goes to show you sometimes you can go somewhere and really enjoy your life and have a good time. And all it takes is a couple of dollars. It doesn't take that much money. It takes some money though. You're gonna need some money. And you definitely gonna need the time. You need the money, energy, attention, and the time. And some people will waste your time. But going back into strategic networking, you need to have an exit strategy. Whenever you're anywhere, like you may be going to the supermarket and something go down there. What's your exit strategy over there? Hopefully you make it out alive. You know what I'm saying. Sometimes things go down in certain areas. You know what I'm talking about? Where you live at and something and things go down around there. What is your exit strategy? Did you think about that before you left the house? And just because you did, you may still get caught up. As a matter of fact, I feel like going to the supermarket now, but I don't really want anything. I guess it's just because of something to do. Sometimes I like to do that, and I shouldn't. I shouldn't do it. It's not the thing to do, but sometimes I just like to get out of the house. I haven't been out of the house. I've been working here at home all day. I've been in the healthcare a long time. I started out as an educator, and then I got into, but this was in the healthcare field. I started out as an educator, then I got into healthcare, working in the clinic. Then, I did my externship, medical assisting. Did that. Then I got into private duty, helping clients. And I like private duty. I would never want to go back to working in the hospital. And I did before as an educator. I was working in HIV/AIDS services, and it was okay. But as an educator, so I didn't have to give injections or take any blood or do anything like that. I didn't have to swab anybody's gums. You know how you swab the gum to do a test to see if a person, what they test negative or positive? I didn't have to do any of that. Pre and post test counseling. I wanted to do that at one point, but only with the swab though, not with the phlebotomy, like drawing blood or taking blood or pricking the finger or whatever the case. I never wanted to do that. Gram stain, and you know what I'm saying? How you take the blood and you do these specific tests. And I never wanted to do that. You know, sometimes you take specimens, collect specimens from people's body, different parts of the body, the mouth and other things of that nature, different orifices on the body and things like that. You know, I was never into it like that. And so my point is that I've been in healthcare for a long time. And I've been in biotech. You know, I started out like as an educator, they were teaching biotechnology in these classes. And so basically I started in biotech like 25 years ago. I'm talking with pharmaceuticals and, different kinds of medication, antiretroviral, antiretroviral. Trying to think of the other one. I can't think of it right now, and I don't want to get into sexually transmitted infections and things like that. Start talking about that. But I was just looking at the medications that they were using: anti-this, anti-that, anti-protease and protease inhibitors and entry inhibitors and things of that, and non-nucleoside reverse transcriptase inhibitors. You know, these medicines are to inhibit. And so I've been in this field for like 25 years now, and I'm still doing private duty, and I'm doing some consulting. I'm into a few things. I'm into a lot of things. And so basically this channel is for those people who want to make it. But we're definitely focused on technology, networking, technology, wellness and fitness, and travel. And so I just wanted to get up here for a minute. You know, I've been on 1 hour and 8 minutes. And so I'm going to wrap this up. And so, yeah, I've been up here 1 hour and 8 minutes. It's time to wrap this podcast up. This is Jay at Things to Do in Metro Atlanta, Story Time with Jay. I'm going to wrap this podcast up. And on that note, until next time, take care.